Hey there and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the functional trainer kneeling lat pull down, and we're going to be taking a supinated grip with this exercise in this variation. This is an incredible exercise for your lats and the muscles in your back. It's also going to indirectly work your biceps. The first thing you're going to want to do when it comes to the height of your cable, you want to make sure you set it up at the highest setting. So at an A, I'm just showing you how to move it, and then the rotation arm, you want that at a 1. That way you're inside the machine as much as possible and not in the middle of the gym floor. Next thing you want to do is make sure you choose the appropriate weight. You can actually go a little heavy on this one, but just make sure you can do 20 repetitions comfortably, then slowly start to increase the weight every other week or every month, depending on the progress that you're making. Next thing you want to do is make sure that you're kneeling down, nice and comfortable, with your hips in, core tight, nice and tall. Also make sure that you're taking that supinated grip so your palms are facing you and that you're going all the way up and all the way down. But before we continue with more tips, here's a word from today's video sponsor.
I'm today's video sponsor, and if you'd like help losing fat or gaining muscle, there are a few ways I can help you down below. Either set up a free consultation with us, purchase through one of our free affiliate links, or purchase one of our instant access affordable training programs. Can't wait to be of service to you. Now let's get back to the rest of the video.
One key thing you really want to focus on when you're doing this exercise is making sure that you're elevating the scapula as you're going up and depressing the scapula as you're going down. Those two things are crucial when it comes to doing this exercise correctly and maximizing the amount of results that you can get with it. So basically what I mean is allowing your shoulders to come up and then squeezing them down and back when you're lowering the weight. Also make sure that you're not going excessively too low, meaning like you want to go underneath your chin, yes, but you don't want to be pulling all the way down to like your lower chest or something like that. And one key thing that really helps me is making sure that you're keeping your forearms at the same angle as the cable. In order for that to happen, you can't go lower. Like if I went even lower than this, my elbows will start going back and my forearms will start pointing forward, and then that just completely changes the muscles that you're working. Another key thing that I want you guys to really think about is making sure that you're keeping those hips in. You don't want to be sitting back as you're doing this, and you don't want to be arching your lower back excessively when you're doing any lat pull down, because then you start changing the angle of the exercise into something like a row instead of like a lat pull down where you're pulling straight down. The angles of exercises are incredibly important because then you start to target different muscles as much as possible. Obviously, if you want to maximize the width of your back, then obviously doing something like a lat pull down is going to be more effective than just doing rows. Both are necessary, by the way, but making sure that you're doing them correctly and intentionally are just as important as the type of exercises you're doing. Now, after you keep your hips nice and tight, keep your glutes tight, keep your abs very tight, and you basically just want to be pulling down in a nice controlled fashion with your chin fairly straight. You don't want to be looking straight up when you're doing this and placing unnecessary strain on your neck. Here's some common mistakes that I want you guys to avoid. Going too low when you're doing the row. So notice that my forearms changed completely, like they're pointing forward instead of staying at the same angle as the cable. Next thing is you don't want to keep your chin up like this. Like I said, you're going to be placing unnecessary strain on your neck, and that's obviously going to cause problems later on. Another thing is you don't want to be doing half reps. If this is happening, you most likely have the weight way too heavy. So obviously lower the weight. Make sure you can do a full range of full repetitions and through a full range of motion. That way you can benefit from the exercise. Also, like I said, do not arch your lower back excessively, because then you start changing the angle at which you're pulling the weight, which is obviously going to change the area that you're working. Like I said prior, make sure that you keep your hips in. Do not allow your hips to sit back like this, or you will be missing out.